When the Second World War broke out, the Soviet Union not only suffered a large number of personnel and equipment losses, but the extensive battlefield and backward infrastructure also brought another problem, which was the poor communication between the combat forces and the frequent need to rely on light multipurpose aircraft for the transportation of small numbers of personnel and goods. Although there was a reliable aircraft like the P-2, its transport capability was slightly weaker. In the spring of 1942, the Yakovlev Design Bureau was tasked with developing a twin-engine utility aircraft to meet the military's needs, and this aircraft was the Yak-6, known as the baby carriage in other Western countries. The Yak-6 is a little-known aircraft, but its design is very interesting. The aircraft was designed and accepted in just about half a year, setting a speed record for aircraft development in the Soviet Union at that time. The Yak-6 has an empty weight of only about 1,400 kilograms, with a cantilevered low wing, twin-engine propulsion, and a two-person cockpit. The small cabin can accommodate 4 passengers or transport 500 kilograms of cargo by removing the seats. Due to the scarcity of materials during the war, the aircraft was mainly made of softwood, plywood, and linen fabric. Even the fuel tank was made of chemically impregnated plywood. The entire aircraft only used a small amount of precious strategic resources. The aircraft is powered by 2 Shvetsov M11 5-cylinder radial engines, each delivering 140 horsepower, driving wooden 2-blade propellers. According to different sources, some aircraft later should have been equipped with metal propellers. The landing gear was taken from other fighter aircraft, with the main landing gear retracting into the engine nacelle and the tail landing gear retractable. The maximum cruising speed of the aircraft is 230 km per hour, the cruise speed is 180 km per hour, the maximum range is about 900 km, and the maximum altitude is about 3,400 meters. The Yak-6 was divided into a general transport type and a night light bomber type. The transport type was usually used for transporting personnel, mail, and maintaining contact with guerrilla forces behind enemy lines and airdropping supplies. The night bomber type was equipped with a bomb rack under the fuselage, capable of carrying 500 kilograms of bombs, 5 100-kilogram bombs or 2 250-kilogram bombs, or mounting 10 RS-82 rockets under the fuselage. As a tactical night light bomber, it was quite successful, with a machine gun mounted on the back of the aircraft, and a navigator operating the machine gun for self-defense when encountering enemy aircraft. This type of aircraft participated in the Battle of Berlin, launching rockets as an attack aircraft. This seemingly fragile aircraft entered military service in November 1942. Many of its components could be produced and assembled in furniture factories, and it could be maintained by a single mechanic. The aircraft was easy to operate and had low requirements for airport conditions, receiving praise from the military. Because of its resemblance to the Douglas DC-3 aircraft, the Soviet military referred to it as the Douglasenko. The Yak-6 played some role during the war, especially as a medical transport aircraft during the Battle of Stalingrad, where it could transport 2 stretcher-bound casualties after the seats were removed, saving some soldiers' lives. The aircraft was also used as a private plane for individual senior officers, with increased cabin comfort, but usually only for the officer, his aide, and some personal belongings. However, the Yak-6 had a flaw, which was that it should never be overloaded, as it could easily spiral into an accident. Therefore, production of the aircraft was halted in 1943, with a total production of 381 aircraft, which remained in service until the 1950s.